Kate Mara's a badass. I don't think I've ever seen that side of her before, and Fantastic Four did not really do that. Hello once again, watchers of good movies. My name is Nick Pell, and this is once again coming from my apartment. Now today we are going to be talking about the film Morgan. Now this is a film which I was a little bit iffy on before going to see it. I didn't really expect a whole lot from this thing. I didn't really know what to expect from it as a film, because I didn't know if this was going to be like a killer going through a house taking down people type of movie, if it was going to be like a creation gone wrong type of thing, and it's kind of a combination of those to an extent. General premise, or at least introduction to this movie, is that Kate Mara gets sent to this facility after an incident occurs, and she is just there to investigate the specimen which has been created called Morgan. And I really enjoyed the introduction to this movie because it just really gave you the impression that this creation, this child named Morgan, was a very sweet child to begin with, because you just see these home videos and whatnot of her as like a toddler, and she's just playing, she's acting like a normal young girl, and it's just a really humanizing thing to do for this character, because you see that she did not start out the way that she ends up in the movie, and I just found it to be a really fascinating element. And she wasn't just a stone cold, like, hardened person from birth. She was practically human to an extent. She just grew extremely quickly. So I really like seeing those aspects of the film, because it gave the audience a better impression of the character than just this person who's going to go around killing people. I also found Morgan as a character very interesting, just because she seemed very conflicted in regards to how she doesn't, because she perceives things in a very sophisticated, scientific way, in that when she's being interviewed for a psych evaluation after the incident, she's asked about emotions, and it's like, what do you perceive as sadness? What do you perceive as happiness? What do you perceive as fear? And you see some flashbacks that showcase her reactions to those emotions, and it's just kind of an interesting way and a really interesting look at how she thinks as a person. And I just found it to be really interesting, because there are times where you can tell she's just being polite, but you also don't know what is a mask and what is not the mask, and it's just very interesting, because I don't think she even knows what her true self is, and it's just a very interesting character, and I really enjoyed that aspect. As I mentioned, Kate Mara is in this movie. She does a very, very good job. She has done a good job in pretty much everything she's done since House of Cards, and so I enjoy seeing her on screen. She is the person who is sent by this company to investigate the incident, and she is essentially the main star of the film, outside of Morgan, who is played by Anya TaylorJoy, who is also in The Witch, one of my favorite films of the year. And she is showing that she has some horror chops to her, besides just that one Witch movie. I thought that Anya Taylor-Joy did a fantastic job in this movie. I thought that she just did the portrayal of Morgan in such an interesting way, and I just really enjoyed the performance. I thought it was fantastic. We also have Rose Leslie, who was in Game of Thrones, for the people who watch that show. She also did a very good job. She has a bigger role than some of the other people who are kind of the creators of Morgan in this movie. One thing which also surprised me about this movie is the fact that it was extremely well paced. The 90 minutes just flew by so fast. I checked my watch once, and it was an hour and 15 minutes into the movie, and I was just surprised as all hell that that happened. And so, yeah, this movie just takes you, if you are able to just latch onto it right away. It just blows by very, very quickly, and it just is a really well-paced movie, I thought. I also like that it gives reason to the power of ideas, because one reason why Morgan kind of goes nutso, to lack of a better term, and lack of a spoiler term, is the idea that is put into her head, because for the extent of her life up until that interview, that psych interview, she has just accepted her reality. She knows what she did wrong, and she accepts that she is back in this cage instead of being let outside as a punishment. She did a wrong thing. She's supposed to be sorry for it, so she is, and so she is assuming this is what's supposed to happen. When it is put into her mind that the people who have raised her for the extent of her 5 years of life are maybe not her friends, maybe they don't treat her as a friend by putting her in a cage, that is kind of what sparks the light bulb in her head to go off and think, oh hey, maybe these people aren't the best people right now doing this. And yet you see during interactions with Kate Mara that these people do genuinely care about Morgan. You see that they care about her extensively. and you just see demonstrations of that throughout the movie. And I love that because that one idea causes her to have just this laser focused mission for the rest of the movie, and you get to see the reasons behind that. And it's just such a false idea that it just becomes a very implemental part of the movie, but just changes things so much. And I just really liked that aspect of it. Maybe I'm looking too much into it, but I just found this a really interesting movie, to be frankly honest. The only issue that I really had was there are some bad dialogue moments, which I thought were just kind of delivered a little bit poorly, and just weren't written the best. But outside of that, I thought that Morgan was really, really good. I found it to be a really interesting movie, and I thought that it had a really cool twist ending. I won't go into it, obviously, but the last 5 minutes of the movie reveals something which kind of feeds into one of the characters and kind of gives reason and explanation for kind of how they act throughout the movie. And I found that to just be a really interesting thing. After seeing the movie, I'm really disappointed that the film has only made about $600,000 in theaters so far, as of Friday night sales. And so yeah, definitely check this thing out. There was like maybe 5 people, counting myself, in the theater when I went to see this, and it was a big theater. And so that's sad, because this is a really actually quite good movie, I thought. And so I think it deserves more of an audience than it's getting. But those are just my thoughts, guys. Let me know yours in the comments down below. Did you like it as much as I did? Did you hate more than I did? Let me know. Like, favorite, comment, and subscribe once again if you so choose. I appreciate it immensely. And as always, big people, my name is Nick Pell, and once again, keep on watching.